is Candace Benson, and I'm the owner of The Finishing Touch, where we focus on weddings, corporate events, and all life celebrations. You're standing here with me in our beautiful office in New Jersey, where we spend every day planning all of the details for our clients, coming from the New York metropolitan area all the way to London, England. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our company, what it is we do, where we came from, and what makes us different from other planners. For starters, let's talk about attire. Although anyone that knows me can tell you, I have a real obsession with my shoes. When it comes to the day of the wedding, the heels have to come off. Don't worry, they landed in the chair. So obviously I don't wear that to the office every day. Now that we're a little more comfortable, come on in, take a seat, and we'll talk a little bit more about The Finishing Touch. So The Finishing Touch we started a little over 7 years ago. At the time I was working in a corporate environment doing project management, and I always laugh and say that planning a wedding or an event is just like project management. It takes the same skills, but the best part is I get to throw a party at the end, so it's a lot more fun. Before that I had planned fundraisers for politicians, so I did have a background in event planning, and then basically when I decided myself to get married, I became one of those brides that became a planner. And joined an association, got some education. I shadowed for about a year with other planners just to make sure that I really knew what I was getting into and that I would really love it. And then once I decided that I had a passion for wedding planning, I opened The Finishing Touch. So we've had some pretty exciting things happen here at The Finishing Touch over the last 7 years. So first, we've grown from 1 to a team of 5. We've also opened up a custom stationery department of the company, which offers our clients custom designs for everything from their invitations to menus to table cards and favors. That allows them to personalize their wedding, which is an element of the planning that we love. We've also been able to plan over 60 weddings in beautiful locations across the world, including London, England, the Caribbean, Mexico, and of course New York City, our backyard. So as I mentioned, I'm a member of the Association of Bridal Consultants, and I actually became the New Jersey State Coordinator last year. And in that role, it allows me to assist other vendors and coordinators that are coming into the industry to further their education and raise the bar in terms of professionalism in our industry, which is really important to me. And I really love the ability to be able to give back to others that are, just starting out. And last year, I'm proud to say that I became a Master Bridal Consultant, only one of 50 in the world to earn that designation from the association. So I'd have to say that our style is pretty detail-oriented, focusing mostly on the personalization of the wedding. Very important to us to be sort of fashion-forward and into the trends, but of course the most important style that we have to keep in mind is the style of our client. So it's very important and sometimes very difficult to keep in mind what the client is looking for when we get all of these very exciting ideas. We love color, we love bringing in all of the new things for the new year. So for 2010, for example, incorporating feathers or non-floral aspects into our centerpieces. And we love that stuff because of course we're in the industry, we're thinking about it every day, but it's very important to keep in mind that sometimes the client doesn't love that, and sometimes you have to work with the client's expectations and make sure that the style that you're looking for is actually their style. So we find that we're very good at that. We listen to our clients. We tend to determine the style of the client by asking them a lot of detailed questions when we first start working with them. So for example, what are the colors in your home? What are things that you're drawn to? When you pick up a magazine, what are you reading? So that really helps us determine whether or not they're, have a romantic style, whether they're going to want something very intimate, or whether they're, very modern and sleek and they're not going to want, anything too foo-foo, or whether they're, Cinderella and they want a huge ball gown and, tons of white flowers everywhere. So again, it's very important, that we have our own style, but more important that we focus on the style of our client. The most recent example I can think of us saving the day had to come with one of our couples that was married recently at the Battery Gardens here in New York City. We had known this bride for about 1.5 years. We had spoken with her at the very beginning of her planning, had followed up with her multiple times, as we tend to do, to find out if she was interested in our services, how her planning was coming along, what she needed help with. Every time it was sort of we didn't hear back, or we would hear back a quick email, oh, we're doing okay, until about 6 days before the wedding. we were actually doing another event at the Mandarin Oriental, and I happened to have a moment where I checked my email on my BlackBerry and had an urgent, frantic message from the bride saying, "My wedding's in 6 days and everything's falling apart and I need you. Are you available?" We did have availability to step in and help her, so we were able to help her in putting together programs at the last minute. We had to organize her transportation. There were music issues where we didn't have cocktail hour musicians that were timely, so we had to solve that issue. So there were a lot of things that we had to step in and solve for her at the last minute, and ultimately they had a gorgeous wedding. Everything turned out wonderfully. The bride and groom had a wonderful day, and it was thanks to us being there and being part of it. We have 11 events that are lined up for the remainder of this year that we're currently working on. One actually is a very interesting element of dance. One of the bride's closest friends from Taiwan is actually a famous ballerina there. So she's bringing a dance troupe to the wedding, and they're going to be performing a dance number that was created specifically for the bride and groom. So really excited about bringing that element to the wedding. We also are doing a wedding this summer on the beach in Long Island, which is always very exciting, as long as you can handle the traffic getting there. And lastly, probably the most exciting wedding that we're working on, or the most interesting elements for this year, we do in the fall have a Jewish and Muslim wedding. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of interactions with family to be considered there, a lot of cultural pieces that we're bringing together. It will be a multiple day event where we'll be doing a Muslim ceremony separate from a larger Jewish ceremony, and then of course receptions to incorporate the cultures from both families. So over the years we've planned many fun and exciting events, but I would have to say one of my all-time favorites is the wedding that we put together for Jennifer and Eliu. The wedding took place in Punta Cana. Jennifer and Eliu are a very unique couple. Their families are wonderful people who really wanted to embrace the spirituality of the couple and really participate, so we were able to do really a lot of fun, exciting things for them. First, starting with the invitation, and I have to show you because we absolutely love it. It's so different. As you can see on the front, we created a logo. It's sort of a tribal face, but it incorporates the letters E and J, which stand for Eliu and Jennifer. And then as you open it up, of course, everything has touches of texture because, again, they're very bohemian and cultural. And we have the peacock here as well, which is one of Jennifer's favorite birds, as it represents friendship and love. So the invitation was really unique, really personalized to them. The other thing that we did was put together a guest welcome packet. So you're thinking, well, that's not unique, Candace. Everybody puts together guest packets. However, what we did, given that it was a destination wedding, and if you've ever planned a destination wedding, you know there are headaches after headaches trying to get through customs with all of the materials for your guests that you're trying to hand out. So what we did is we mailed everything to our guests in advance. We had a nice bamboo box that we placed a hangover kit, some towels, a little E&J rum for the guests, for E&J, for Eliu and Jennifer, as well as this guest packet of information that we put together that basically had all of the information about the weekend that they would need. Of course, incorporated the peacock feather, and then at the wedding we were able to incorporate all of these colors, all of the elements that Jennifer loved. We had centerpieces that incorporated the peacock feather as well. It was beautiful, bright oranges, right on the beach. Everyone had a wonderful time. We had a personalized video from some of the guests who couldn't make it to the wedding to Jennifer and Eliu so they could be part of the day, and it was really special. And I would have to say that's probably one of the most unique events that we've planned to date.